You're listening to the Send It Podcast with Andrew Rawls on World Talk Radio.
Grumman 7 Judah Bravo, then ground, turn right on Bravo, runway 10 left, Bravo, and it'll merge with Alpha at Alpha 3.
So it's been almost a year since I broke my femur at Skydive, Arizona. Wanted to give you some suggestions and pointers as to things I picked up going through the rehab process. If you're out there, perhaps you've suffered an injury, maybe it's not skydiving related, and let you know some things that work for me and now how I'm back at what I feel is 100%. So breaking the femur is the hardest bone in the body to break, and it can be serious. I mean, you can die from a broken femur, especially if that bone protrudes outside of the skin and there's any kind of blood loss. The femur is capable of sustaining forces up to 1,800 to 2,500 pounds, and of course, you see folks in the Olympics and heavy weightlifters exceeding that pretty much all the time. But to my recollection, there's only been one or two football players that have broken the femur in the NFL, and see how hard that they hit for something like that to snap. It's got to be a really freak injury. And then I was reading about Mike Woods and I believe it's John Bauer, who are two cyclists. And these cyclists that do these Spanish Grand Prix and these Spanish mountain climbs. I think even the Tour de France. When they have a wreck, usually it's really, really bad. And the femur is one that you see a lot of cyclists break, but not so much outside of extreme sports. I mean, you hear people femuring in skydiving quite a bit. It's still not a very common injury, and it's one of the more serious ones, just because you've got the femoral artery down there, and again, it's such an important bone for the body. Now, backing up, I was out at Skydive, Arizona in February of 2020. This was right before I think they have a big Sisters in Skydiving boogie out there. Just out there grabbing some air. I had really low jump numbers, and I believe I was around 160-something jumps. In my neck of the woods, where I learned to skydive, people were really obsessed with downsizing. So you'd see people flying, 150s less than 200 to 300 jumps, and really all everybody talked at in my neck of the woods was downsizing and getting on a smaller canopy. And, perhaps some people were capable of flying smaller canopies, but as a newer jumper that's newly licensed, and you hear from people that you think know a lot about the sport when in reality they don't, you get the wrong advice, and then you end up paying the price if you get hurt. So I really don't blame this on anybody but me. But I also think I could have gotten some better information, and surrounded myself by people that really truly cared and were smart about canopy and making the right decisions as to what canopy, an individual should be flying based on their experience level. But anyways, I went out there around on the 160th, 170th jump mark, and I'll just say this, Skydive, Arizona is one of my favorite, if not my favorite places to jump at in the world, and I've been to a lot of different places, but you're going to be coming in there very, very hot, and I think that's why people like it, because you'll rarely see them call a day because of wild winds or some freak weather. You've usually got the big blue skies, it's hot, and although it can be cool in the winter, and then you've got no wind, so you don't have any headwind to slow you down on final. You're coming in pretty hot. It can make for a run out or a fast landing. So you've really got to have your timing dialed in. And again, it's one of those places where people think, oh, it's the desert. If you land off, it's not a big deal. When in reality, it is a big deal, because this isn't the Sahara Desert. This isn't some type of desert in Mongolia. This is rock. And so, you land out there, you can get seriously hurt. You slide in your landings out there. Again, this isn't something like Dubai where you've got sand, rolling hills of sand. I mean, this is gravel gravel and this is rock, so this shit hurts. So, I'd been pounding it in, I guess, 70-80% of the time, and was flying a canopy that was loaded around 1.4, 1.5. Again, I'm telling you all this in honesty because this is not something I'm proud of, especially with what I know and what I preach now. But, I learned the hard way. And I came in and it was a Saturday and it was, towards the end of a long day. And yeah, I just hit it. I hit the ground really, really hard, and this femur just snapped. And I initially, didn't know what was going on or what was wrong with me. I just was able to, thank goodness, I was able to actually just sit there and shout out, and some people came to my rescue. So the EMTs came really, really fast when I was out there. I mean, it didn't take them, I'd say, but 15 to 20 minutes to have a full-blown ambulance pulled up. I didn't have anything on camera. Again, I think that the USPA actually recommends to have 200 skydives, so none of it was videotaped at the time. But the worst part then I remember about breaking the femur was actually, them having to set it and put it in this type of vise before I could get into the ambulance and make the ride back to Phoenix. Now, Phoenix is about an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I guess that's north of Eloy. Eloy sits between Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona. And again, it's a great place, a very famous place for skydiving and aerial sports. So yeah, they put it in the vise, and that was really the hardest part, probably the most painful part, other than some stretches I was having to do on my stomach in rehab. That was one of the most painful parts, is I'm putting in that vise that was subsequently taken off when I got into the emergency room. So here I am, how many thousand miles away from home on the East Coast, and I'm out there all alone. And I didn't jump with a cell phone, which looking back is something that I recommend everybody do. And I didn't jump with my identification, any type of driver's license or insurance card. So that was really bad, because it took my folks a while to get out there, and here I am without a phone and calling long distance. And the surgeon, come to find out, was really, really good, that performed the repairs of the broken femur. But this isn't something even an orthopedic surgeon can typically look at, right? When you break a femur, it's considered a traumatic surgery or traumatic event. So they have a trauma surgeon that's responsible. You'd see them work on people that had serious motorcycle accidents, or people that have been shot, or they've been in a car crash and they have to do some type of amputation. This was beyond the realm or the experience, I should say, of a normal orthopedic surgeon. And yeah, I mean, they got me out, and I wasn't able to actually leave Eloy and fly back to the East Coast until several weeks after the fact. Another part was these Lovenox shots, these blood thinners that they give you to take, so there's no type of coagulation going on. You can be susceptible, I think, if surgeries are below the waist, to a blood clot if you don't get up around and move. So you had to kind of wait for that to pass, and then getting on the plane and getting back home was quite an accomplishment. And I definitely had some support for my family, that's for sure, in getting back, because it wasn't easy. Now, the challenges I faced, again, were the long rehab and the pain, I guess, in doing some of the stretches. I was really upset, I guess, for the first couple of months, because I didn't see much progress. And then I elected to get on this treadmill and switch physical therapists to this center down from my house that has one of these AlterG anti-gravity treadmills that basically has resistance, and you sit into this waistband and bump up or down the resistance, and it really teaches you how to walk again. So that was pretty incredible to actually have one of those near me. And I did some research prior to switching physical therapy clinics, but I'm definitely glad that I did. They really did a lot to help me and get me back on track. And again, the AlterG is just an amazing piece of equipment that I highly, highly recommend. I think they're really expensive, and everybody thinks that they're really fancy. I think really what it boils down to is it's just a big piece of machinery that really simplifies and simulates for a person to be able to walk on their own without having to have somebody there with them all the time to hold their hand or watch them. I mean, you can fall on the AlterG and you still won't, it's there to support you, right? So definitely started seeing some gains in my recovery, particularly around 30 days after usage with the AlterG anti-gravity treadmill. But man, we went through 20 plus rehab sessions, at least, maybe more than that. And I was actually afraid my insurance company wasn't going to pick up anymore. We had been going for so long. But yeah, then I just was kind of in some pain when I left rehab, my final session, but just kind of saw some drills that I could do on my own. And, once it hit the 3 or 4 month mark, then, I kind of knew it was up to me, that just had to give it some time and ice it and do some of the stuff they told me to do. And if it wasn't better within a couple of weeks, I would have to go back. So again, I'm just very grateful for all the people that, helped me. And then I was back to skydiving, 6-7 months after the accident, right? So the accident again occurred in February, and I was back in the air in August. So yeah, crazy things have happened. People probably saying, well, you broke a femur, you're lucky to walk again. Why would you skydive? I think those people that say that, if they experience what it's like to fly, they may see what I'm seeing through my eyes. So again, I'm very, very fortunate to have the kind of people that were there along the way, the therapists and of course the surgeon and my parents. I spent a lot of time too in the wind tunnel before I came back and resumed skydiving, and then I had to kind of learn how to stand up landings again. So I went back up and still flying big canopies now, but standing up all my landings, and really I've got a newfound love for the sport. These kinds of things tend to humble you, and for me at least, I'm still going to progress, but I get enjoyment out of flying the canopies and traveling. So going things again a lot slower. I can't say that enough. I've said that in some of the other episodes, how important it is in skydiving and all sky sports is to slow things down, right? When you're doing your checks, you're getting out of the plane, or you're packing, just slow things down. When you start getting rushed or feeling like you're getting rushed, you need to walk away, because that's when accidents tend to happen, is when people get pressured. Hey, you know what? You got 5 minutes. You're not going to be able to make this plane, this load that's guaranteed to leave in 5 minutes. You just need to take yourself off of it and get on another load. Rushing a pack job or not doing your checks before you get on the plane. That it may not hurt you the first time or two, but it's eventually going to bite you in the ass, right? So you want to really, when you're skydiving, you want to make things routine and matter of fact, and do the same things over and over again. And that's why currency is so huge. Yeah, if you're going through a situation now where you've got an injury, maybe it's not something as extreme as skydiving on a broken femur. Maybe it's you've broken your arm. Maybe you've got some type of migraine or headache issue. It's not a broken bone. Just keep pushing through it and persevering. Again, make sure you're seeing the correct doctor, because I've found a lot of times that the therapists and the doctors, you get varying opinion, and you've got to find the right one that knows your situation, knows what your goals are, and is there willing to help you. I would definitely invite you to explore around. There's so many these days to find the right one, and then you just got to put in the work yourself, and you should, unless it's something very serious, be able to get back to the point where you were before the injury in life. Medicine and surgeries have come a long ways. I think 30-40 years ago, if what I had happened, I wouldn't be walking again. I'd be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So again, just very grateful for the people that helped me out along the way, and just keep your head up. Listen to what the folks at our doctors and the people in physical therapy have to say. You'll be back with your daily routine and enjoying life as soon as you know it.
You've just listened to Send It, a skydiving podcast hosted by Andrew Rawls on World Talk Radio. Send It is the #1 skydiving podcast on the planet, bringing listeners up-to-date information on all things sky sports. Be sure to visit senditradio.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our amazing bonus content and articles. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review. Until next time, 3, 2, 1. See ya.